Hello everyone. So today I thought I'll probably share my experience and a bit about how to shine in your career, in your job, or whatever you're doing. Now, this video is applicable mostly for people who are working as an employee, but I think the concept is similar. You can also apply this even within your own uh, business or maybe in your own market. So let us say you are working for an organization, and if you're an employee, of course, you are getting paid, right? And most people they work, they need to do their job because they need money, right? That is how things work. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, but I guess it is probably due to this. Because that is how things have been for the past I believe 200 300 years, especially after the industrial revolution, where you need to, or you're supposed to work, or you're supposed to basically do some work to get paid. And majority of people, majority of us, uh, including me, because I of course worked for many years, we for someone, for other companies, we of course have to uh, go to our job, or maybe open a laptop if you're working from home. But you have to be part of a team, you have to be part of an organization. Now I personally think that when you're working, you should take it seriously. So if you're working for someone, if you're doing a job, or if you're, let us say, an employee, especially if you're an employee, you need to of course take your work, take your job seriously. Try to try to like it. Even if you don't like it, make it interesting. For example, I used to do a lot of things which I never really enjoyed. I thought it doesn't really make sense, but of course I did them because I had to. And to do those things, I try to do them quickly, more efficiently. I try to find ways to uh, to basically finish my work on time with great quality. And you will of course encounter a lot of these things, similar things in your career throughout. Now, what I think you should aim for, and that is probably the main idea of making this video, I think you should try to, uh, if you're working for, let us say, an organization, maybe a small team, or maybe your immediate team, you should try to be in the top 10%. So, of course, there is no fixed definition of, because when you're working for a company, you will probably have some goals and KPIs. And I guarantee in most of those organizations, or whatever company you're working for, those KPIs, those goals don't always, in most cases, don't make sense. And and the criteria to judge your performance, your growth, they don't really work in most cases. I mean, there is no, there is no formula to distinguish you from your colleagues, and there is no rating that you can give, because each one of us, I guess we are different. We all have different qualities, we all have different ways of working. And I think companies, most, like not most, but I think there has been this trend where people don't rely a lot on those numbers or those tools to basically give you appraisal every year. But at the same time, you should definitely aim uh, for for getting better in your job, to perform better. And one simple approach is to give yourself this scenario, couple of scenarios. For example, now scenario number one would be that, let us say you're working in a team, or maybe in your company, or you look at your immediate team members, and maybe your group as a whole, because I'm sure if you're working in a big company, you're most likely interacting with at least 50 people, right? And you are probably, if you look at the hierarchy, or the org chart, somehow you are definitely in a group of 100 people somewhere that is doing something, uh, or supposed to do something together, right? You might not be talking to all of them on a daily basis, but just look at your immediate uh, colleagues, and then of course maybe your team or a group. And then imagine that if the company has to lay off 90% of your employees, or within your team, if you have a team of 50 or 100, if, let us say, the company decides tomorrow that, okay, we are laying off 90% of you guys, will you be in that 10% or 90%, based on, of course, your salary, based on, of course, your performance and the value that you bring to the company. Now, you might get paid more, but that can also look bad when someone is deciding, okay, we have to do we need to keep this person or not. So if even if you're earning more money, uh, then you need to on a regular basis justify. You need to demonstrate and prove, and on a regular basis show this to your manager or maybe to your team members that yes, you're getting paid more because you bring more value. You're more valuable. I think that value is something that you have to on a regular basis demonstrate, and this is what I think managers should do. That is the job of the managers. They have to identify, and this is of course one good, in a way, from my experience. Only for you. I mean, you have to think about this scenario in your mind. Will you be in that 10%? And also at the same time, think about uh, a scenario where if, let us say, the company is, I mean, if you're working for a company, and if, let us say, they decide, of course, to lay you off, that is, of course, one harsh scenario. But if you leave your company, if you are, let us say, trying to maybe look for another job, because that may happen, that happens uh, for a lot of people, especially in the beginning of their career. Will the company miss you? Will they be able to replace you in 1 week or 1 month, or maybe they will not care at all? I think if they miss you, if they find it difficult to replace you, then definitely um, you are valuable. So I think you should, on a regular basis, work on those skills, or maybe demonstrate that not only you're good in what you do, but you're also uh, able to learn new skills if you have to. You're also able to maybe uh, take some extra steps to, or maybe go beyond your expectations. So this is something that I believe is definitely uh, these two scenarios. If you keep these two scenarios in mind, if you have that uh, sense of fear, I know it's probably a bit negative way of thinking, but I think this sense of fear will keep you sharp. Uh, you might be working with your colleagues, and your colleagues are, of course, your friends. You might become their. You will, of course, talk to them daily, and usually you are. You become their friends, right? That is how things are. But at the same time, they are also your colleagues, so there has to be some professional boundaries. And when it comes to uh, working in a team, of course, work as a team player, demonstrate your skills, but you also have to think about you. You also have to think about whether you are valuable than your colleagues. So this is something that I thought I'll probably share with all of you. I'm not really sure if you were able to figure out what I'm trying to say here, but I was talking to one of my friend, and my friend was saying that he works really hard in his organization, but at the same time, if he's working hard, then he should not get. So it happens quite a lot that when you're working hard, when you're really good, when you're delivering, people take you for granted, right? It happens because if you're constantly delivering, then it becomes normal, which is a great thing, and that is where the role of the manager comes into play. But I think you don't really always need to rely on your manager. You have to, on a regular basis, uh, not only demonstrate but also. Uh, Also, if you're let us say working with your manager, or maybe if you're working with some senior people on a regular basis, just simply ask them, are you happy with me or not? So when I always work, so this is something that I have been doing all the time. If I'm working with, let us say, my clients or anyone, to be honest, where I'm supposed to deliver something to someone, it could be my manager, it could be someone I report to, it could be maybe my line manager, it could be my seniors. I ask them, um, and don't ask them casually. I mean, of course, you can whenever you want, but maybe uh, on a regular basis, maybe once a month, uh, only set up time with them, maybe 15-minute call, just to ask them straight away, okay, so I have been working for you for the last uh, 1 month or 6 months, whatever. Are you happy with me? Are you not happy with me? Is there something that I should be doing that you think I'm not doing? And is there anything that I can improve? So don't wait for those stupid appraisals that are set by someone in HR or someone in your people management team, and they have absolutely no idea about what you do, because they don't know you. They will rely on some numbers that will be fed into a system by your manager, and if you don't really ask these questions to your managers, then your manager will probably not give you a good rating. But if you make it a point, if you make your managers or your stakeholders accountable, then they have no choice but to give you good rating, because that rating will dictate your salary. And I will also talk about salaries, because and to be honest, the money that you are earning, it could be, maybe you're working for your clients. I think if you're good in what you do, never settle for less money, or maybe the same money that you're earning right now. Always aim to, the way I see it, I think you should definitely, I mean, there is no like fixed percentage, but from time to time, you should definitely look for more salary, whether in the same company or maybe in a different company, because that happens a lot as well. If you're working for the same company for a long time, they again take you for granted. They might give you good rating, but the growth or the appraisal that you get will be much less than someone who is like 10-year junior. So, which is probably fine, but it is also at the same time not really fair all the time. So if you're valuable, if you think you're valuable, which I think you should think that you are valuable, because if you think that you're not valuable, or maybe you just want to live a comfortable life, then I think you are probably living I mean, it's okay to live like a normal average life, but I personally believe that we should always aim high, and not only aim high, but constantly try to improve, and it should reflect in your salary, in whatever money you're earning. And to be honest, if you're earning good money, then that will actually solve a lot of problems in your life. And I know people talk about the work, people talk about work culture, profile. That is all, I believe. It should be the default. I mean, some people say that okay, you should work smart, not hard. I think it is actually the opposite, or I should say, working smart should be the default. You should not even talk about it. I mean, and I think if you have to work really hard, if you have to achieve something extra, then you have to work hard. You have to spend extra hours, and when you say work smart, not hard, you're in a way trying to limit the ability of that person. So don't say that. I think working smart should be the default. If you're doing something manually every day and you have been doing the same thing, or the way of working is same, if you're not really improving, if you're not really finding ways to do your work quickly or efficiently, it is applicable in everything that you do. Maybe if you are doing simple things in, let us say, Excel sheet, right? So in Excel sheet, let us say when you create a pivot table to create a report. Now, when you create a pivot table in Excel, you have to, of course, select the cells, and then, of course, you have to create a pivot table with those fields that you drag to either row or column. Now, imagine you have to create this report every week, right? Now, are you doing the same thing every week? Are you just copying the data and then creating the report again, because the number of cells will change? So you can, of course, there are smart ways of doing it, where you can set up a source and you can pick up data from somewhere else. So that is smart way of working. So I've seen people working on things and they're doing the same thing over and over again. They are never really improving. That is something that I believe not letting them grow, or maybe they don't want to grow. But in case you're like me, you want to grow in your career, or maybe in case you want to not do the same thing over and over again, you should definitely think about and identify those areas where you can improve. In general, I mean, I'm just giving you one example, like in general and overall in whatever you do. And in this video, of course, I'm talking about career. I'm talking about how to get better at what you do. All right, I'll probably end, and hopefully this video or this podcast, I'll also upload it on my podcast. By the way, in case you don't know, I have a podcast. It's on Anchor. You will find it on Spotify or also on Google Podcast. So I'll upload it both on my channel on YouTube and also on my podcast. All right, that is all. That is all I wanted to talk about today. I hope today you enjoyed this session. All right, bye bye. Thank you very much.